I'm running things again, folks. I'm running things again. I don't know if you can tell. I'm running things. Producer Jim on vacation and a nice little wedding after he bought some fine luggage for himself. Welcome in to the Farzy Show here at the Steven Singer Studios. My name is Marc Farzetta. Amy Fadool joins us a little bit later on today, and I'm going to tell you what Amy does. Amy solves that little Ben Simmons problem, so that's exciting. Sixers at it against the Nets tonight. Look forward to that game. Ben Simmons is supposed to be with the Sixers front office and shoot around today to discuss his playing role despite the back tightness he has allegedly been experiencing, so we'll get to that. We got an Eagles-Raiders game coming up on Sunday, which I feel like we haven't even talked about enough throughout this entire week, so we're going to get to that. And Jason Kelce and Daryl Morey provide the sound bites of the day. Jason Kelce, probably the sound bites of the millennium when it comes to, let's see, not only his Super Bowl parade, but also what he had to say at the table yesterday during his press conference. I'm blown away. I'm absolutely blown away with what Jason Kelce had to say. So we got all that and more to get to. We're going to start it off on a Football Friday with some Eagles conversation as they take on the Raiders. I'm going to give a little spoiler here. I don't feel good about the game. I don't feel good about the game. I should feel good about this Raiders game. I want to feel good about this Raiders game, but I can't because I have zero confidence in Nick Sirianni. I have said before, I feel like he is in over his head as a head coach and play caller right now in the NFL. I feel like he has no fluidity to his offense. I feel like he does not put his quarterback in the best possible position to win games. And I want to say that he is going to just look at the obvious, which is, the Raiders. Did they allow over 5 yards per carry? Did they allow 5 yards per carry last week against Denver Broncos? I think I'm going to run the ball against them. No. Instead, I think he's going to continue with the same old pass, screen pass, screen pass. That's how I feel Nick Sirianni is going to attack, usually using that word, attack the Raiders defense. I actually feel like on the defensive side of the ball, Jonathan Gannon does something on the reg that he will do in this game that will help the Eagles out tremendously. And that is keep safeties over the top and keep those safeties not just over the top, but about 30, 40 yards off the line of scrimmage so that a guy like Henry Ruggs, who has come into his own so far this season, can't take the top off the Eagles defense. So you're looking at this saying, well, Jonathan Gannon likes to keep those safeties back. This is the perfect matchup when you have a speedster on the other side, like you do with Henry Ruggs. Jalen Hurts, when he was asked about Henry Ruggs, his old Alabama teammate earlier in the week, he just said, great guy, blah, blah, blah. Very fast, extremely fast. That guy's so fast. Like that was exactly what he went to. So you got to know that the Eagles are going to be preparing against that speed and trying to match that with their safeties playing basically as they do every single week, which is wildly off the line of scrimmage. So we'll see how that plays out, but that's something that the Eagles defense actually does well that should go against what the Raiders do well and help stop that. But for me, it all comes back to what this Eagles offense is going to do. And this is judgment week, as I've been saying throughout the week, when it comes to Nick Sirianni and what he's going to do with his offense. This is a defense that you can attack on the ground. Why not do it? Every single week we talk or we hear from the coaching staff about how they did things that they didn't really put on film and we weren't ready for it. Whatever. Okay, well, you think they've really seen you run the football? Do you think that's on film? Throw that in their face. Last week against the Browns, their run defense allowed 4.9 yards per carry. That's pretty bad. Why don't you, just a thought, use Miles Sanders? Why don't you, as a thought, use Kenny Gainwell? Why don't you, wait a minute, remember Boston Scott? Give him a shot. See what he's got going on. The most important thing, I think, in this Eagles game is to show that you can make adjustments. Even if they lose this game, show me as a head coach that you can make adjustments. We saw it before against the Kansas City Chiefs. After they laid an absolute egg against San Francisco 49ers, you saw the offense come out. They looked a lot more creative. They looked like they had a lot more fluidity. And then all that went back out the window. Please, Nick Sirianni, I don't want to go through this week and come back with you guys, go through this weekend, come back with you guys on Monday and say, like, this coach needs to just be let go. Because that's where I'm at right now with Nick Sirianni, because he just looks so uncomfortable. And the guy that we saw in that introductory press conference is the guy that we see in the red zone. That's the guy that we see when it comes to making in-game adjustments. Nervous and unsure of himself. And you can't have that in the red zone in the NFL, and you certainly can't have it throughout the game when it comes to the required game day adjustments. So I want to see him make all the adjustments in the world over these last 10 days and go into Sunday with a great game plan, well executed, because, look, you could call the worst play in the world, but if you execute it perfectly and it works, then, hey, we're all good here. But you got to see both sides here, but mainly it starts with Nick Sirianni, because of the two, Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, I still continue to be a lot more concerned about Nick Sirianni as the head coach and play caller of the Philadelphia Eagles. So I want to see over the last 10 days the adjustments that were made, the work that went into it, and of course, it actually bear fruit on the football field. I want to come on here Monday and talk about how happy I am with the adjustments and how much they properly ran the football. And whenever we say that, we're not talking about a 50-50 split. Like, don't get that in your head. I'm just talking about not seeing a running back with 2 carries going into halftime. That's all. Don't ignore the run. That's all I'm asking. Just don't ignore the run. Bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you my prediction, but I will tell you it's not. I'll give you my prediction at the end of the show as I do on every Friday, but I'll come right out of the gate and say this. Hey, I'm not seeing a win. I'm not seeing a win. If you're going to Vegas, and I know I got a couple of cousins out there in Vegas, they're making the trip. They don't live out there. If they did, that'd be awesome. But if you're going out there to the trip and all that stuff, enjoy the city. Have a great time. Win some money. Be smart. Don't bet with your head, not over it, as they say. I hope you have fun. And I hope this Eagles game is fun for you. I just don't think that you're making the trip to see a win. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right. There is some amazing stuff that was said over the last 24 hours since we ended the show. And it starts with Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce, it's required viewing is what it is. That's what Jason Kelce provided every athlete that comes into Philadelphia after yesterday. If you come to Philadelphia, or maybe you're just a new athlete in town, maybe you're one of the many new Philadelphia Flyers that are in town, and you need to know, I heard Philly's really tough. What's so tough about it? Well, according to Jason Kelce, it's not that tough at all. And he got into it big time yesterday with everything that he got into at his press conference, and I feel like it is required viewing or read the quotes if you're new to Philadelphia or any athlete that ever comes into Philadelphia. And I know the phrase is, man, that guy gets us. Jason Kelce gets us. And he was asked about Zach Ertz and how much he's going to miss Zach Ertz. And Zach Ertz, what he was so loved in Philadelphia. What is it about Zach Ertz that makes him a guy that got it? And Jason Kelce got into that conversation. I think I have the right clip here for you. Again, folks, I'm running the show. Producer on vacation. So I ask for your patience most humbly. Thank you. Let's see here. Jason Kelce asked about what makes a great athlete in Philadelphia and makes that athlete connect with the city.
Yeah, obviously being a good player helps out. You win a Super Bowl and have the game-winning touchdown, you're going to be pretty loved. This city really appreciates accountability, appreciates people being very honest, real, emotionally invested, caring. I think there's a lot of people that say it's a hard place to play. I think it's pretty easy, to be honest with you. You just go out there, play hard. You want to be loved in the city as a baseball player, run to first base. They're going to love you. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, if you go up here and make a bunch of excuses, you come up here and try and lie to them and act like they don't know what they're talking about, which sometimes they don't, but that's when you really when you act that way, or when you aren't accountable if you're making mistakes or you're not getting better or anything like that, they're going to crush you. And that's most of the guys that I see, that everybody's going to get crushed at some point. Everybody's going to go through a downturn or be struggling, right? And at all times, the city's going to keep you accountable to be doing your job and performing. But if you stick to it and you fight through it and you get better and everything like that, they'll respect the hell out of you. Especially if you fight, even if you're struggling and you're fighting and you're really trying, they're still going to respect you. And that's what I think most guys miss. I think that I really don't think this is a hard place to play at all, to be honest with you. I think a hard place to play is, I don't want to, I think it'd be miserable to play in a place like Jacksonville where nobody cares. So.
Is this something you understood at 23, 24, 25, or did it take time and experience for you to realize it?
No, I mean, listen, I've only played in one place my whole life. And, as I've played in the city and as you get older, you notice things like that a little bit more. But, you look at all the players that Philadelphia holds true to them and who they respect, all the guys that came before you, and they all fit that mold of tough, hard-nosed, physical, try-hard guys. I mean, Vince Papale's a legend here, and he's a special teams guy, but he's a local guy who went out there and freaking, he made the best, and he lived the American dream. That's what Philly wants to see.
With Zach's exit, there's now only 9 players on the roster who were part of the 2006.
That's that sums it all up. I mean, it really comes down to us being honest people. That's what it comes down to. I always like to say Philadelphia is the city that tells you, yes, you look fat in those jeans. Like, we're the people that tell you that, or no, that's not the wedding dress for you, young lady. Something like that. We're the city that, like, when you're telling us how great your girl is, but we see that you guys are crazy, we're like, no, dude, she's crazy. Like, you can tell me all you want, but she's crazy. Or he's crazy, ladies, if you're dating a crazy guy. There you go. That we pride ourselves in our honesty, our blunt honesty. Zach Ertz even mentioned that during his farewell press conference, how honest we are as a city. And we pride ourselves on that because you're not BSing us. You're not pulling the wool over our eyes. Stop telling us we're not seeing what we're clearly seeing. Don't act like we're the crazy ones. At times we can be. And we earn that. But when it comes to calling players out that aren't holding themselves accountable, i.e. Ben Simmons, then yeah, don't tell us we're crazy. And I feel like that sums us up better than anything I have heard about the Philadelphia fan base. And I feel like that is something that needs to be shown to every single player that comes into Philly from here on out. Hey, just so you know, you're going to be reading some stuff. And welcome to Philadelphia. Cheesesteaks, hate the Cowboys, beat the Cowboys. Yeah, well, but just watch this video. And I feel like they should roll it in on the old indoor recess, or, hey, kids, today we're just going to watch a movie type of, stand, and it's strapped to the stand, and you wheel it in, and you put the VHS in, and you go, watch this, and it's Jason Kelce telling you how to act, telling you how to take the criticism that's coming your way. Every single athlete in Philadelphia should see that from here on out. Required viewing. Kelce also went on to talk about the Ben Simmons fella as well. And this is where I think I'm going to mess this up. Let's see if I can get this for you here. Yeah, here it is. Jason Kelce, not asked. When I first heard and read about the comments from Jason Kelce, I thought he was asked about Ben Simmons. Like, somebody heard what he was saying about playing in Philadelphia, and he goes, as it pertains to Ben Simmons. And Jason Kelce then answers it. But Jason Kelce did it on his own. Jason Kelce on Ben.
You write your own narrative. You know what's going on? I don't want to crush any other player, but what's going on with the 76ers, Ben Simmons, stuff like that? All that is because of a lack of accountability, a lack of owning up to mistakes, and a lack of correcting things. If all that got corrected, if you're fixing free throws, if you're getting better as a player, none of this is happening. So everybody can complain about, how tough this city is to play in. Just play better, man. The city will love you.
I love that. I love that so much. That just, he just kind of gets us. It really just, it comes down to accountability, and it's all we really ask for. We ask for, you work hard and you're accountable. I think the perfect Philadelphia mindset, and this goes for a lot of fan bases, but I think Philadelphia is the most intense about this. These people, I know people throw it around all the time. Oh, these people are spending their hard-earned money. But we almost throw it away. Like, we hear it so much, it almost loses its effect. Oh, your hard-earned money. Well, think about this for a second. Just as any Philadelphia fan, any sports fan that's really into their team, you're going to an arena. You did work hard for your money. You got that money, and you spent that money on sitting in a seat to watch a player play, to watch a team play, to watch a team win. Right? That's what you spent that money for. And then you go there, you sit in the seat, you spent the money on the concessions, because I don't know anyone that goes to the stadium and doesn't eat, or the arena and doesn't eat, or the ballpark and doesn't eat. And you sit down, you're already out like $250, depending on who you got with you, how many people, you got kids, whatever. You have kids, you're out $500. You're sitting there, and imagine you watch a guy lollygag to first base. Imagine you sit there and you watch a player not finish a route, right? Imagine you're sitting there and you don't see any fruition from working hard, allegedly, in the offseason on your free throws. And the guy continues to come back as the same type of player. And then that player that's missing his free throws and doesn't show up in Game 7 of the NBA Eastern Conference semifinals against the Hawks, despite you're a 1 seed, they're a 5. Come on! And he gives up on a dunk. And then after that, he takes no responsibility for himself other than the standard lip service of, yeah, I got to be better. And the whole time looking around like, can I get the hell out of here now? And then quite literally afterwards, yeah, I want to get the hell out of here. Meaning Philadelphia, meaning the Sixers. I want to get out of here and start anew somewhere else. And you think we're just going to sit by and go, oh, yeah, do that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you do you. Yeah, that's not how it's going to work. So now we're in a spot where we got to watch this Ben Simmons guy go through all these motions about whether or not he is going to actually play. He's going to meet with the team today in the front office to discuss a role going forward. I don't know how he plays in front of Philadelphia again. I do have one theory I'll get to later as to if I'm the Sixers, how I would play this. And it's not how I would play it. I'd say, hey, you're under contract, get out there and play. But I do think the Sixers are going to go through some type of negotiation with Ben Simmons. And yes, it's going to be a negotiation for him to play. And the other sound bites that we heard, the other things that we got into yesterday was Daryl Morey going on the Mike Misnelli show and saying how you should dig in because this is going to take a long time. Get comfortable. Buckle up. This is going to take a long time with Ben Simmons. We're willing to wait this out. He's got 4 years on his deal. Hell, when I was on Fox 29 yesterday, they asked me when I saw it actually getting resolved. I said the trade deadline. By the trade deadline. Like, that's still months away, and I thought that was long. Daryl Morey's going on the radio talking about how you're going to look into this situation for the next 4 years, if that's what it takes, because they're not just giving away Ben Simmons for role players. And I say to that, good on you, Daryl Morey. Dig in all you want, buckle up, get comfortable. Don't lose this battle with Ben, because the only way this helps the Sixers is if he plays, ups his trade value, and then they can move on for him. Or the other idea is he plays well, he expands his game, and the Sixers are all of a sudden one of the best teams in the NBA again. Now, other teams around the NBA have certainly loaded up, so it's not going to be as easy as it was last year. So you, too, have to improve. Let's see that happen. That's the only way this gets solved. The only way. Now, there is a strategy behind all this that we'll get to in just a second. But one last thing from Jason Kelce on playing in Philadelphia. And I think here he actually references one of his teammates. And this is one of the things that I think really has to be acknowledged from anybody playing, really in any city, but most notably in Philadelphia. This is, it comes down to finding out what's real. What are you telling yourself as the player? What are you telling yourself as the coach? And what's real? If you're going to read an article, listen to a show, watch a show, whatever it is, and somebody's being critical of you, do they have basis? Do they have grounds for that argument that they're creating? Or is it something that, that you feel like they're just making up? You feel like they're hot taking you. What's real? That's what Jason Kelce gets into.
You write your own narrative. You know what's going on. I don't want to crush any other player. What's going on with the 76ers, Ben Simmons, stuff like that. All that is because of a lot. How to say this. First and foremost, the city will love you. The team, more important, don't get me wrong, the city's important to love you. Your team will love you if you're accountable. Your coaches will love you if you're accountable. So you have to know what's real and what's not. We talked about this with Andre Dillard and, how do some guys make it out of live up to their hype or not, right? Knowing what's real, what's not, accountability and understanding, am I doing my job well? When am I not doing my job well? All that stuff. And fans are going to point out when the productivity's not there, when the wins aren't there, when, the stats aren't there, or, when they see just flat out gross errors. And you as a player have to understand, is that my fault? What's going on here? And be accountable to that. And but the bigger issue with that is, even if you're accountable, you have to understand that it's all correctable and it's all fixable. And you have to realize that this is a blip in time, and that over the course of my career, I write the narrative. I'm the one who decides what this is.
I love that. That sums it up. Again, learn what's real. You think what Ben Simmons is hearing is real? Do you think his response to what he's hearing is, oh, they have a good point, because that's totally what happened? Or do you think his response is, no, don't you be honest with me? Don't you tell me I'm not great? How dare you tell me I'm not great? Get me the hell out of here. Do you think that's his response? Or do you think it's, that's a good point by you? Like in a personal argument, do you think Ben Simmons is ever the one to go, that's a good point you just made. I need to improve on that. You're right. Probably not. Because in his mind, he's phenomenal. Sick of it. Here's the theory, folks. And first off, let me just get this out of the way. I love Jason Kelce. God bless that man. Here's what I see happening. There is a way that the Sixers could do this. Did I say this? That's what I see happening. This is what I see could happen. This is what I do. I just say, oh, you want to play? Get out there and play. Let's go. But I do think there'll be a little bit of a give and take with Ben Simmons. The take will be that he plays. The give from Ben Simmons, or excuse me, from the Sixers rather, will be that he doesn't play at home for a while. Now, you can miss this game with the Brooklyn Nets due to back tightness, so that's already in place. But then you don't play at home again for almost another week. So you have 2 road games, one against Oklahoma City, dominate. Then you got the New York Knicks, beat the Knicks. It's always fun. So you got 2 games where Ben Simmons can join the Sixers again on the road and not have to worry about the Philadelphia crowd reaction. Now, you might say, well, the Sixers fans aren't going to Oklahoma City. Sixers fans could hop on a train and go up to Madison Square Garden to see them take on the New York Knicks coming up on Tuesday. But Tuesday, you're going to go up there? I'd go up there just to boo them. So that's a possibility. That's a possibility. Now, the other thing is you wait a week or so, 2 weeks, and you got a road game against the Indiana Pacers on that Saturday, the 13th of November. Then you don't have a home game until the 27th. The 27th of November. So Ben could sit out that entire time with back stiffness and then come back and join the Sixers and actually play during a long road trip where you're at Indy, at Utah, at Denver, at Portland, at Sacramento, at Golden State before coming back on the 27th to play the Minnesota Timberwolves. Maybe Ben will even be traded to the Timberwolves by then. But that's a long layoff for Ben Simmons to actually come back, because that means that you would have him playing a bunch of games. Hopefully you're winning those games and the people feel a lot better. And Ben shows a lot of improvement in those games, and he comes back to Philadelphia and then he doesn't have to worry as much. Look, he's not getting out of one game that's just going to be a boo fest. That's not happening. He's not getting out of that. But if the team's winning and he's playing well, the mob is fickle, brother. They'll get over it. We'll get over it. Especially if we know he's upping his trade value anyway. The first game back, look, there's no avoiding it. Whenever it happens, boo! As I've described before, the most venomous boo the city of Philadelphia will ever bestow upon a player. Shower onto a player. That's what's going to happen with Ben Simmons. We're going to get to Amy Fadool, who I think is the most reasonable person when it comes to this situation. And you'll hear me say that I want Amy in the room with the negotiating, because I think she just nails it on how this is going to get solved. So we'll talk to Amy coming up in just 1 second. Also, an admission for me right away to lead off the interview. We'll get to that in a second. Here's what I got. I got to tell you about my good friend Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, the other quarter of 8th and Walnut, right on Jewelers Row in Philadelphia. Steven has everything at the perfect price. That's right. A man in the love business wants to show you love by not making you go through any type of negotiation, not marking something up crazy just so you feel like you win something when you negotiate, when he marks it down a little bit. But guess what? He still wins. That's what a lot of jewelers do. Steven doesn't do that. Doesn't mark things way up just to knock it down in front of you. He just has everything set at the perfect price every single time. So when you go to the other corner of 8th and Walnut, experience a man that knows he's in the love business. You want to get engaged? Steven's your guy. Ready for Love diamond engagement rings are right there at the ready. Something more specific? Feel free to inquire with the phenomenal jewelry experts that they have at the other corner of 8th and Walnut. Right on Jewelers Row. Steven Singer's Real Jewelry Experts are there to walk you through everything. You can go online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Always fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. Look at all the beautiful inventory. Stop into the store and check out all they have to offer. Not just great people, but everything at the great price. The perfect price from Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Over 40 years in the love business in Philadelphia, helping the great people of Philadelphia get engaged. So do what I do. Trust Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers with all your big jewelry purchases. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price, the perfect price online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Coming up in our morning rush, we'll jump a little bit more into the Eagles-Raiders matchup. And we'll also get into the Flyers matchup coming up this weekend as well. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line, talk about all things Sixers and give us an Eagles prediction as well, my good friend, Amy Fadool. Folks, every time we talk to this awesome person, I feel like I have the need to just come forward and be honest. There's a lot of times where I'll be like, oh, this person's one of my favorite people on the planet. It's mostly lies. I'm only telling the truth when I talk about the great Amy Fadool, NBC Sports Philadelphia, Sixers pre-post and all that fine stuff. Amy Fadool on the program. What's up, Amy?
So happy to be here. So happy to be talking about, all things Sixers basketball activity related, because I know that's what we're going to cover. Strictly court stuff only, practice related and game related. Super jazzed.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the pick and roll offense that Doc Rivers was running the other night. I was quite amused by it, weren't you?
Furkan Korkmaz looked really good as the backup point. Everybody's talking about it.
Whatever allows you guys to play, here they come, 10-9, 876ers, and I get to see Marc Jackson do that. I'm good. I'm good.
The best part is I started playing that. Derek Gunn, if you have him on your show, you can ask him this, or when you have him on your show. He hated that song for years because I played it almost as a joke. Because the Sixers would win 7 games. Remember, they won 10 games. They would win 14, 18, 19 games. And I would blast it in our newsroom. And he'd be like, why are you playing that silly song again? I'm like, I'm telling you, this thing is catchy. It's going to catch on. It's like I found a tweet that he talked about in 2011. So I've been playing that thing after Sixers wins. And now the team, I don't want to say I'm a trendsetter, but they were like, that's a good idea. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't invent the song. I just invented the idea of actually using it. You're welcome. But that song is great. Jim Lynam and Marc Jackson, and we all love it. But those guys, the best is when they take the camera shot so you can get them dancing like that.
I noticed Coach is going extra tight with the beard these days.
Well, he got a haircut, so it's kind of trimmed it up here. The man just turned 80 in September, by the way. Doesn't look a day over 65. Exactly.
No.
And so I hadn't seen him since last offseason, and I saw him at a golf thing on Monday. It was a number one question people had, because I was the only one that had seen him. Hey, does Jimmy still have the beard? I'm like, of course he does. Are you kidding me? He says Kay likes it. Kay's his wife, and he says his golf has never been better since he implemented it, and that's it. That's all he needs. He's done. So if you don't like the beard, Jimmy doesn't care. Doesn't care.
Jimmy doesn't care one iota.
No.
Amy, I don't know what you're planning on doing over the next 4 years, but according to Daryl Morey, who went over on the Mike Missinelli program, Daryl Morey goes on there and is like, hey, we're dug in, man. We got 4 years. We could do this. I could do this all day. I said on yesterday's show, it's like, remember in school when the teacher's like, take minutes off your recess, and it's like, oh, another minute. I could go all day. That's what I was hoping the Sixers would do, and it seems like that's what they're going to do. They are digging in with Ben Simmons right now.
It's the principal from the Breakfast Club. Go ahead, Bender. Give me one more. You want another one? You got another one. You got another. You want another one? You got another one. It's absolutely. They're just counting it up. It's amazing. We actually asked. So we do prep work before our show, right? So we kind of meet all together. And Brian Brenner,
Really?
so yeah, I know. Shockingly, we just won't roll up and be like, boo, boo, boo. Here's what we're going to talk about. So we asked Jim, I said, hey, I'm going to ask you, what do you think about Daryl Morey's strategy? This is before Morey came out and said, listen, it'll take 365 times 4. We're in it to win it. And so Jimmy was like, in his signature, Jimmy was like, yeah, Aim, it depends on which hat I'm wearing. I was like, okay, well, which hat are you wearing today? He's like, well, as my coach hat or as my GM hat, I'm all for it. I think it's great. He's got to get the best deal he can. But as my coach hat, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? My coach hat? And he dropped a couple of words that he would not use on air at the time. But he was like, yeah, no, it's obviously not ideal as a coach that you've got a player that's actively not participating and disrupting your entire team. Now, I thought it was interesting that Morey said this has been he really emphasized this unifying process, and that can be. Right now, it probably is a unifying process. In year 2, if it really is, it's not unifying. It's like, oh my God, that's still happening? Like, that's ridiculous. Maybe it'll be fallen by the wayside, but I think something's got to come to a head soon. They can't just keep giving him 1-game suspensions, especially now if it comes out that, he is indeed, injured or has any kind of, issues at all. They can't just suspend him. Like, that's not how it plays out in the collective bargaining agreement. Like, there are provisions for that, which I'm sure Ben Simmons and his team is fully aware, and the team is fully aware of it. So there's definitely the cat and mouse game of like, okay, well, I'm going to play this card, and then you're going to play this card, and then we're going to see where we go. But it's got to come to a head. I mean, there's just, I know that he said 4 years, we're in it for 4 years, but my God, I mean, seriously, he says it's not distracting, but it's distracting. There's just no way. I mean, after a while, these players are like, can we just talk about, like, I don't know, anything else? Like, literally, we'll talk about the Timberwolves or the Pelicans, for Pete's sake, besides talking about a guy that's not here.
I love when Allah asked him after the game last night about, how good is it just to focus on basketball? And of course, that kind of tees you up to talk about the thing that everyone's talking about that's not basketball, which is Ben Simmons. And Joel Embiid didn't miss a beat. He was like, this is all of us getting together right now that want to be here and have fun. And it was like, I'm sorry, did you say want to be here? Oh, who could you be referring to? Yeah. So when I follow this whole thing, I can't help but think now, when they have this meeting on Friday morning or Friday, whenever they're going to have, I assume Friday morning, when they have this meeting, they're going to try to negotiate terms as to whether or not Ben Simmons is actually going to play. And I also find it interesting that they're hoping that he'll play, but he now has this back injury or whatever, the back tightness. How do you think this meeting goes on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're going to put their cards out there and be like, listen, you say that you want to be traded. All right. Be traded, you have to give us a product to trade. That's what I would say. Like, we get it, you're disgruntled, fine. Like, it's not the first person in the history of the world to ever demand a trade from his team. He has played this exceptionally poorly, and we've seen people play things poorly before, but they usually, like, at some point come correct and go, you know what, my bad, I'll try to like smooth this over. I mean, like, James Harden showed eventually up for the Rockets. He weighed 600 pounds, but he showed up. He at least made his presence known, picked up a basketball, dribbled it, and like walked around the court pretending to play basketball. Ben Simmons can't even, whether it was a jersey or his phone, looked like a phone, couldn't even be bothered to take that out of his pocket. He couldn't be bothered to be in the huddle. He can't be bothered to do a defensive drill, albeit that's something he doesn't really like need. But that should have been the easiest thing that he should have been. Oh, a defensive drill, I can do. Free throws, I don't want to do that. So I think that they have to look at him and be like, listen, what do you need from us in order to make you happy enough? You're not going to make him happy to play, to show us that you can do something. And maybe he says, nothing. I got nothing. There's nothing you can do. I'm so pissed at everything. And everything is just not even, you can't fix it. It's done. He needs to have that moment though. And he needs to go within himself and be like, all right, I need to make myself a viable product. And I don't know if that's sitting out completely and working out completely on my own, or if it is probably getting on the court and showing that, hey, yeah, I am a viable basketball player. But this injury thing is obviously, the timing is very concerning because it's like, where did this come from? And two, how are you going to be traded if you have a back injury? Like, so don't play that unless it's really an injury, because that ain't good. That's not a good. No one wants that guy. So not only is this guy quit on his team, won't participate in any kind of active activities at all towards the team, but now he has an injury. Like, your trade stock was here, and now it's gone. It's just left. So I mean, the meeting is going to be hilarious. I would kill to be. I'm sure we'll get we'll get the two different sides. Like Brian Windhorst will have like whatever like Clutch wants us to know, and then we'll get whatever the actual stuff happened from. So I love when they tweet out stuff. They're like, all-star point guard Ben Simmons. I'm like, I don't think you can just call him Ben Simmons. You don't have to call him an all-star every single time that you tweet it out. Sorry, Rich Paul. Thanks so much. We understand that he's been an all-star. We get it. You can just call him disgruntled star. That's what they should start calling him instead of all-star. But that's me. I mean, the thing is, it's never going to end. I really don't think so. I'm all in for 4 years. Let's just do this.
Is there any way he's in the building Friday night? Is there any way he's in the building even?
No. I mean, and if I'm his teammates, I'm like, dude, get out of here. You're so if he's on the bench, can you imagine? People will lose their minds. They'll lose their minds.
Yeah, there's only one way for him to be in the building, and that's it. He has to play, but I don't think he's going to do that. I'd be shocked if that actually happens. But yeah, Joel Embiid comes out the other day after Ben Simmons gets thrown out, and he goes, "I don't care about that guy. I don't care. It's not my job to babysit." I don't
care about that.
I like that is like not to like take it to like the dramatic leadership thing, but that's exactly what that was from Joel Embiid. I like this is him coming into his own as a leader because finally. There were some people that would focus on Ben Simmons. Not a lot, but there were some. Now, to me and to most people, Joel Embiid was the undisputed the guy on the Sixers. Now, without Ben Simmons, not only is he the guy, he's far and above anybody else because nobody else is even an all-star compared to Joel Embiid on this roster. So I think he is taking ownership of this team because of this situation. That's what Daryl Morey was getting at with that whole unifying thing. Joel Embiid has stepped up, I think, phenomenally as a leader, even in practice and the one game they played so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you need, right? If something is happening in your locker room, clubhouse, what have you, you need someone to step up and say, listen, we got to put all that other noise out of the way. We got to focus on who's here, what our goal is, and let's really come together. And to see where Joel Embiid has come from, and he's really improved in this regard. Obviously, basketball-wise, we know he's improved every year. But in this regard, he's really improved every year. I think it really honestly started after that Raptors series loss in Toronto to Game 7. That's when he kind of, a switch went off. In his life, he was like, listen, I can be the guy. I can be this elite player, but I have to work at it. And I have to do a lot more than just the basketball stuff. And I think that he really changed. That next season you saw him, everybody's like, oh, I don't know, he's not going to be healthy. All right, well, he came in pretty healthy. And then the next year, he came in even healthier. And then this year, it's even a different page that he has to read from, right? He has, like you said, he has to be that leadership guy. So when he comes out and they say, what do you think of Ben Simmons? I don't care about that. Like, I'm focusing on me. He's going to do whatever he's going to do. That is it's a huge statement. And he has made huge statements before. We love it. He usually says it about, Andre Drummond or whomever. Now, of course, Andre Drummond's on the team, but he says it about whoever else he has these battles with, Hassan Whiteside. But he's saying about his own teammate, and that speaks volumes. I think the fracture came probably this offseason when those guys wanted to go out and talk to Ben Simmons, and the report was that Ben was like, "No."
Yeah,
that's huge. You can't even. These are your teammates. These are your guys that you're living and dying with on the court, and you can't even be bothered to meet with them. Like, to me, I would have been like, deuces, dude. Like, I got nothing. And they all played the cards right. And honestly, I think to this day, I still think this. If Ben Simmons had a press conference tomorrow and said, I'm not going to take any questions, but I've effed up, man. Like, the whole thing's gotten out of control. I've lost control of where I was, who I was, what I was doing. I'm sorry. I do want to get traded, but I'm playing this wrong. I'm going to try to, get back on the right track. People be like, cool. He's not going to do that. Just like he's never going to take a three-pointer or make free throws better than a 35% clip. I mean, he's never going to do that because I answer all the time. You and I've talked about it. He doesn't think anything's wrong with his game. He doesn't think anything's wrong with what he's doing. That is the thing. You have to admit that you have a problem in order to get better from your problem. He is who he is. He said it himself, and that was it. That was it for him.
He's Popeye. That's what he is. I am what I am.
That was a terrible Popeye, by the way.
No, I was
More like
the best I've ever seen.
terrible Popeye.
Tyrese Maxey running points. Just a couple more quick ones for you. Tyrese Maxey, I'm all for that. Let him run point in the meantime.
Yeah. I think when Shake Milton comes back, you might have Shake in that starting role because
I don't like it. I don't like it.
But Maxey's huge off the bench. Think about it. You get like 20 points off the bench. You don't need 20 points when Joel Embiid's in the game. But I mean, Maxey doing whatever he wants to do. His confidence has to be through the roof, and I love it. That kid can do whatever he wants. That floater he's got, that little almost like fingertip roll he has at the rim. He's got a good little fadeaway. He's shooting the three better. The ceiling is just so high on him, and I'm here for it. I think the guy's great. Well, obviously, I think he's great, but
I concur with that assessment. They got any chance to beat the Nets?
yes. Kidding me? The Nets just got smoked by the Bucks.
Yes, they did. Awesome. Also, last thing, because it's a football Friday, are the Eagles going to beat the Raiders?
I want them to so bad, but you got to run the ball against the Vegas Raiders, and they don't run the ball. They run the ball as much as Ben Simmons shoots the three. So
you can always tell when Nick Sirianni is going to call a run play because he's got the same expression on his face as Ben Simmons going to the free throw line. That's
exactly.
How you know.
It's like, this isn't going to work well. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to do it because you guys are asking for it, but I don't want to.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope if anyone's in that studio, I hope if anyone's in that office when the meeting's going on, trying to negotiate with Ben, trying to make him see the light, I hope Amy Fadool's there because you're the only person that can solve. You and I think Allen Iverson. You're the only two people that can solve this problem for us.
That's what I do, and maybe Jim Lynam and his beard.
Maybe Jim Lynam. Ladies and gentlemen, my undisputed favorite person to talk to on this show, the great Amy Fadool, NBC Sports Philadelphia. Make sure you check her out. Sixers coverage as well. By the way, Kate Scott is amazing. And I so enjoyed that broadcast. So enjoyed it. Amy Fadool, thank you so much for coming on the Farzy Show, joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. Yes, love Amy Fadool. She's amazing. Yes, that was my phone. I was trying to record something I saw on Instagram for the show, for for Morning Rush segment. And it was MC. It was not Amy's ringtone. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to record it. I really miss producer Jim. When is he coming back? The video on Instagram, I don't know, maybe I'll share it. But it's this like really short dude walking with a bunch of huge dudes, and it's called The Trillionaire Life. And the video is hilarious. I'm like, why is this so funny? Oh, that's why. You'll see why if you see it. Anyway, thanks, Amy Fadool, for joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. So usually when Jim, when I throw the interview, Jim, I'm not on anymore. Jim is literally playing the interview, and I just kind of sit here and ponder life and have myself a good time. But so I was just like, and then I look at the comments and I was like, oh, you can hear that. It's a Miss Scusi. Although I wouldn't put it past Amy to have a MC Hammer ringtone because why not? This is America. Do what you want, folks. But thanks, Amy, for joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. Let me tell you a little bit about the great people at Rothman Orthopaedics and all they have to offer when you have orthopedic issues and you need a physician who eats, sleeps, and breathes orthopedics. You need an exceptionally specialized Rothman Orthopaedics physician. They not only specialize in orthopedics, but each of their physicians only focuses in on one area of the body, which means you can have the confidence to get past the pain and be what you were. Visit them in one of their 30-plus locations in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, including 4 orthopedic-only urgent cares. Learn more at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Got some bets coming up this weekend? Want to make some bets this weekend? Week 7 in the NFL already? Man, time flies. Well, how about getting the edge over your sportsbook with BetQL? The only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their best bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you best bet recommendations for every single game across all major sports, and they also give you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from point spreads, over-unders, player prop bets as well. And if you don't want to use that model and you prefer to do your own research, BetQL has all the necessary tools for your betting research needs. Everything from sharp data, line movement, team summaries, lineups, injuries, breaking news, and even leaderboards to track your own success. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now or download the BetQL app right away. Google Play, or the App Store as well. How about Steak and Maine? SteakandMaine.com for more information. In the heart of Northeast Maryland, this restaurant is amazing. This bar is amazing. This steakhouse is amazing. This sushi bar is amazing. They got it all at Steak and Maine. Casual patio to dine on, just relax. A great sports bar to sit back and watch a game. It's all right there for you, folks. The steakhouse is cozy as cozy could be. You feel like you're at home eating a steak. That's how great this place is. You get treated like royalty at Steak and Maine, SteakandMaine.com. Make sure you check them out. I'm going to tell you, what I'm going to tell you? 2-pound tomahawk steak, Pinot Noir from Cavada Cellars Wines. So make sure that you check out Steak and Maine. They're open every day for lunch, dinner, and Sunday brunch. Voted #1 place for steaks in America by the Travel Channel and the Cooking Channel. Check it out for yourself. It is just that fantastic. My man Tony Cavada hooking it up at Steak and Maine. Enjoy yourself a fine meal, SteakandMaine.com. How about the people of Windview? If you want to get into more of the action, maybe you're playing a little fantasy football, it's not going your way. Maybe your bets haven't gone that way. Challenge a friend. Make some predictions with the Windview app, the only game where fans can take on other fans and end the debate once and for all. Who's the biggest sports fan? You have those friends and family who think they know everything. We'll play them in a Windview contest and see if they can walk the walk as well as they talk the talk. If you want to break up the monotony of family dinners and get-togethers, holidays right around the corner, folks. Maybe play a little Windview during a Monday Night Football game, Thursday Night Football game. Maybe play on Sunday. Maybe play throughout the MLB playoffs. It'll be just that great. Perfect way to add a little extra layer of competition to your fantasy league as well. When you're tracking games on Sunday, which players are killing it for your team, play against the other league members in a Windview contest. It's not a sports book. It's not daily fantasy. It's a social gaming app where you can win real money prizes. Make predictions on the games you love with the Windview app. And hopefully you're following all that you can follow through the entire Philadelphia sports scene with PHL Sports Nation. Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience. Now let's jump into our social media check-in brought to you by Steak and Maine at SteakandMaine.com. We got Mally coming in. This was early. Mally, 3 minutes before the show started. Wanted to say hello, everyone, and good morning. Mally also says he's not mentally ready to play. That's what Ben Simmons is saying. Then Mally is not mentally ready for work every morning, but I still go in. There you go, folks. That's the mentality right there. Dak, what's happening? Dak, nice to see you. Sean, what's happening? Appreciate you. He's so there's. I think Dak started this. Ben Simmons should be just known as BS. All right, and I'm fine with that. We can refer to him as BS. Kevin's checking in. Good morning, everybody. Happy Football Friday. Happy Football Friday there, Kevin. Dak BS walks was an awesome headline. Did I miss it? Is it on Daily News or something? But if they did, it's a great job. Just picture Homer Simpson pressing all the buttons. Good morning, April. That's me producing without PJ. Exactly. Yeah, I just beep pop pop beep pop pop pop. Don't know what the hell I'm doing. Mally, apparently you enjoyed that. Thank you with the smiley faces. T-Bro, my man Pots and Pans. What's happening to you? Happy freaking Football Friday. Remember, RPOs are runs, according to Sirianni. You know, that's one of the things I was going to get to, but the hell with it. I'm on it now. In the Morning Rush segment, I was going to get to this, but here you go, folks. I've said before, I think Nick Sirianni is way in over his head. The only way he can prevent me from thinking that or stop me from thinking it in terms of I'm already thinking it and that thought process is showing that he can make adjustments. Like he did it once and it worked out well for his offense against the Chiefs in a shootout of a game. But then it went right back to just no rhythm, no flow, no creativity, no motion, no running the football. Like it's not that hard. I mean, he said earlier in the season, yeah, you can always get the ball to the running back by handing it to him. Thanks. Let's see that every once in a while. And not like one of them RPOs or at least RPO looking things. Like sometimes it'll look like an RPO, but it's really a design run call. And you can tell that by the offensive linemen and what they're doing. But just put them under center. Put them under center. Jalen Hurts. Turn the ball around, hand it to a running back, full head of steam, or Play action. What? Yeah, play action. Blow your mind? The RPO thing, the screen thing, all that, throw it out the window. Like for a couple possessions. Keep the defense guessing as to what you could be doing. I'm not saying you have to completely get rid of it, but just a couple of possessions. See ya, throw it out the window. And then bring it back. I'm not saying light it on fire to the point where you can't bring it back. Maybe a little creativity, maybe a little change of pace. Maybe give them something they haven't seen on film yet. Seems to work against you. Man, why not give that a shot? What else do we have here? So yeah, Dak, that was a good one with the RPOs. Dan, there is total fluidity to the offense. It's just pass after pass after pass after pass after pass. That's good. Mally, no, it's pass, screen pass with an RPO sprinkled in. You're not wrong, folks. By the way, I really like just being able to show you guys your tweets and your comments and all that stuff. Oh, here we go. I mentioned my one cousin, and because I mentioned one cousin, where the hell did it go? Come on. Oh, what the hell? What the hell? So I mentioned my cousin, and I think Mally said, "Oh, is that the freaky cousin?" Yeah. So there we go. I can't. It's always going to be haunting me. There we go. T-Bro, Kelce gets us. Dan, totally. Got told at work yesterday that my Philly came out when some guy tried to mouth off to one of our coworkers. If standing up for one of your coworkers, April, is Philly, then I'm proud of your Philly. How about that? Dan, Kelce is so far from being Sealski. Ah, very nice. I don't know this. But hey, welcome, Jintus. Welcome. Ben will play, but how can you get him to play at 100%? Well, here's how you do it, Jintus. I'll tell you. And first off, welcome. I don't think we've spoken before. Here's how you can do it. Ben, you want to get traded? Play your ass off. Because we're not trading you for pennies on the dollar. We're trading you for Dame Lillard or James Harden. So if you want to get traded, play as well as those guys will play, and then we can get some equal value for you. Okay? Thanks. Bye. Pots and pans, folks. Pots and pans. And then Ben will look at him like this. Boom. Ben, play better. Hit your free throws. No, seriously. Play better. Hit your free throws. Ben, show up. Play with your teammates. Love your teammates. They want to play with you as long as you're not being a distraction and a big old baby. Yeah, that's how that's going to go. That was a lot of fun for me. Thank you. Looked miserable. Yeah, I don't disagree. Looked miserable practice like he was in jail or he had to be told to go to the free throw line. His first game will not be at home. That's what Gentis is saying. I totally agree with that. Do you honestly, Mally's back, do you honestly think Joel really wants to play with old boy now? No, I don't think he really does want to play, but I think it's in the best interest of the team that he plays. Daryl Morey, Doc Rivers, Joel Embiid has said throughout this entire process, they're a better team with Ben Simmons. Ben comes back. All right, let's party. As long as when you come back, you're all business and you're all about playing and all about playing well. You're all about winning basketball games. In that aspect, that's where the professional athletes, pros like Joel Embiid, will say, all right, cool, man. See you. Like all that's bygones be bygones. Come back and win. We're a better team with you. He knows, Joel Embiid knows that he can't waste the prime of his career. So without Ben Simmons, he's wasting the prime of his career. Without equal value in return for Ben Simmons, they're wasting the prime of his career. So it's easy to ignore all the other BS, all the other off-the-field stuff from BS himself. See what I did there? It's easy to ignore that if he comes back and you start winning basketball games. If that stuff starts to show its way on the court, oh, man, don't think I won't be sitting by waiting for those fireworks. Could you imagine? Ben comes back. Ben still sucks. Ben still sulks through the games. Oh, my God, I want that firestorm. You think it's bad now? What if Ben comes back and plays and is lollygagging all over the court What if he comes back, still sucks at free throws? What if he comes back, still isn't shooting jumpers? What if all that happens and he comes back and then Joel Embiid gets a little pissy? What happens then? Huh? Oh, man, light the fire, folks. Light the fire. What else do we got here? Oh, yeah, so I already acknowledged that it was me with the MC Hammer stuff. I'm a big fat idiot. What else do we got? Kevin, this is interesting. Give Maxey the keys to the kingdom. The kid is a baller and everything we were expecting from Fultz and is better for JoJo than Ben. Ben for TJ, I wouldn't be mad, as crazy as that sounds. Well, Kevin, you're correct. That does sound bonkers to me. And I would, hey, look, I'd love TJ McConnell to come back here, but that's not the trade I'm making. I'm keeping Ben here if it's for that. So that goes without saying. But yeah, I hate when people are like, oh, but he's so good on the bench. If he's good and he's your best option to start, then let him start. Have him out there. Put your best 5 on the floor. See what happens. Shake can come off the bench. Shake can hit some threes for you. Shake can hit some shots. Was it game 2 he came out and was hitting shots for you in the Eastern Conference semis? Like, Shake can do that. I wouldn't mind him leading the second unit. More experienced player, a guy that can still score. He's played well in a little 1-2 game with Furkan Korkmaz. Let me see that happen. Can play well with Andre Drummond. Like, let me see that happen. But Maxey, I agree wholeheartedly. Maxey's a ball. Maxey's not a bench player. I want him starting. Put your best 5 on the floor. Have at it. Kevin, you and I are on the same page there. Dan saying, love TJ. If we could somehow get McCollum and Covington and a pound of Portland Sour D for Marc. I'm down for that. Is that a weed reference? Portland Sour D? Because that seems to fit that theme. Let me see here. What else we got, Kevin? Let's minor league baseball trade him. Wait, hold on. You're not fat? Did I? I probably did. Whatever. That's our social media check-in brought to you by Steak and Maine at steakandmaine.com. I do want to try to get one of these up here because it was just too funny. With the April thought it was Amy's ringtone. It was not her ringtone. It was Insta. Mally, is Amy really listening to MC Hammer? Dead at the music. I can't wait to tell Amy that I totally messed up her interview. Anyway, yeah, you guys are awesome. Thanks for checking in on our social media check-in brought to you by Steak and Maine at steakandmaine.com. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Here's my prediction for Eagles Raiders Sunday in Vegas. First off, anyone traveling out there, have a great weekend. Be safe. Enjoy the hell out of yourself. It's going to be a good time. This will be a game. That's what I can tell you. So your travel out there to Vegas won't be in vain. However, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to lose this game. Philadelphia Eagles are going to lose this game 27-21. That's what I see happening in this game. I don't feel good about Nick Sirianni. He's going up against another inexperienced coach. Fine. I can't look at him and go, oh, this is a win. Maybe later in the schedule, as I've been saying, maybe later in the schedule when they're facing the Giants, when they're facing Washington, Dallas probably not. This is a winnable game for the Eagles. They're going to be in it. They're going to have their opportunities. But the one thing that they're going to really need to do to control this game and not let the Raiders passing attack really start to go off like they've been doing really all season. Derek Carr's having one of his best seasons in his career. He's got about a 98 passer rating. He was chucking the ball last week against the Denver Broncos. I mean, he's been getting it done really all season long. So keeping up with their passing attack is going to be difficult. The only way you could do that, I think, is running the ball. They're not an unstoppable passing attack, and we told you already how you can control it a little bit because the Eagles' passing defense is actually pretty good. Ranked fifth in the league, I believe it is, in yards per attempt, fifth in the league in yards per game. So their passing attack is good. They are going up against a good quarterback with some good targets. They're going to have to continue to fight against and fight well against tight ends on other teams, as they got one hell of a tight end there in Oakland, or in Vegas that we all know about. But making sure they keep the top on their defense against a guy like Henry Ruggs is going to be key. If things start to get out of hand and you don't see the Eagles run the football, light a fire. Fire everybody. because I need to see this offense exploit the weakness of another team. Didn't want to do it to start out the game, at least a lot of it against Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they're the best run defense in all of football. I get it. Go up against a run defense like that of the Vegas Raiders, I don't get it. They're just coming off a game where they're allowing almost 5 yards per carry. You can run the football in this game, especially if you have Lane Johnson back in the swing of things, making things happen. So Eagles lose this game 27-21. I'd love to see them win. I don't see it happening. They'll be in it. We'll see how that goes. Last thing I want to hit you guys with is this amazing thing that we'll look at here. One more time from the great Jason Kelce.
Yeah, obviously being a good player helps out. You win a Super Bowl and have the game-winning touchdown, you're going to be pretty loved. This city really appreciates accountability, appreciates people being very honest, real, emotionally invested, caring. I think there's a lot of people that say it's a hard place to play. I think it's pretty easy, to be honest with you.
I'll leave you on that note. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. If you are traveling, once again, be safe. This is a Buzz Sports and Entertainment production. Jim Hyden, PJ, is usually the guy that produces the show. He's on vacation as well, so he just had me push the buttons. Hopefully, we'll have him back in the saddle come Monday morning. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'm Marc Farzy. Thanks for watching the Farzy Show from the Steven Singer Studios. Have a wonderful weekend. I forgot to hit the button.